Hello, I'm Bianca, and in this video, I will explore astrologically a significant world event that is currently in the news and has drawn the attention of many people. And it will likely have major implications in the future as well. At least this is what the astrological indications are. So the aim of this video is to demonstrate how astrology plays out in the world around us, how the main players are affected, and how planetary energies cycles work in a real event that is unfolding as we speak. And of course, to explore how this issue might develop in the future and what we can expect. But before I go into it, let me say that I am a Western astrologer and I work with the tropical zodiac. And you can book your reading directly on astrolada.com. My name is Astro Bianca, but you can find the link for that under the video as well. But let's dive deep into astrology. Let me share the screen so you can see the presentation that I have prepared for you so that you can follow better. Donald Trump versus Greenland. Okay, now it's okay. Recently, in December 2024, and after his re-election, President Trump released a map of the USA, which showed Greenland, Canada, the Panama Canal as part of the USA. He even threatened to rename the Bay of Mexico into the Bay of America, which subsequently he did. And even Google Maps changed the name. Soon after, he spoke about his plan to purchase Greenland, along with remarks about the Panama Channel and Canada. Because I remembered that in the world predictions for 2025, we did that with Lada, the astrology marathon, in December. By astrocartography, Greenland was very much affected, along with Denmark and other Scandinavian countries, as well as Canada, Mexico, and Panama were also very much triggered. Many planetary lines were crossing these areas in the astrocartography for important astrological events. And that coincided perfectly with the timing of the statements/threats by Donald Trump. We will look at astrocartography later. But for these reasons, those remarks caught my attention as well. I'm always quite excited to see how accurate astrology and astrocartography are. It's really shocking. And therefore, I researched the topic some more. And to my surprise, I discovered that this was not the first time President Donald Trump made these remarks. In fact, he had brought up this exact proposal when he was president before, and it led to a major fallout at that time as well. The timing of that initial proposal was not coincidental either. It was quite important astrologically because some very important events were also going on at that time. And that intrigued me enough to look into it. And the result is this video. We will link the video of the world predictions also below in case you want to watch it again or if you missed it. But in August 2019, it was the first time that President Trump made a statement about Greenland. This was really shocking and unexpected, and he spoke about purchasing Greenland, which is an autonomous territory of Denmark. And he compared this idea to a large real estate deal, publicly confirming it on August 18, 2019. The idea first surfaced on 16th of August 2019. Following Denmark's firm rejection, with Danish Prime Minister at the time, Mette Frederiksen, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it correctly, called the idea absurd, and Trump, which was planning an official visit to Greenland, abruptly canceled the state visit, which was scheduled for September 2nd and 3rd. And this move caused significant diplomatic tensions between the United States and Denmark. And astrologically, this event was not random. But let's look at some of the headlines during that period. This was from 16th of August 2019. President Trump eyes new real estate purchase Greenland. Again, you see, this article is more than 5 years old because it was from 18th August 2019. Trump confirms he's considering attempt to buy Greenland. Another one from more than 5 years old, again, 21st of August 2019. Trump cancels Denmark trip after Prime Minister says Greenland is not for sale. And on 19th again, Danish Prime Minister says Trump's idea of selling Greenland to US is absurd. So the astrological connections related to this are two major eclipses that happened in July 2019 that activated both Trump's natal chart and the USA chart. And these eclipses set in motion faded cycles that continue to influence the situation to this day. In 2024, the Greenland issue has resurfaced with renewed comments by Trump and related diplomatic fallout. This analysis aims to connect the events of 2019 to the current developments and future astrological activations as well. Let's look at some of the articles that appeared this year. 8th of January, Trump ramps up threats to gain control of Greenland and Panama Canal. Trump berates Danish Prime Minister over Greenland in horrendous phone call. The date, January 24. Donald Trump Jr. arrives in Greenland with a message from his dad, "We're going to treat you well." This was on 6th of January. Homeless people given free lunch to attend Trump Jr.'s event in Greenland, 16th of January this year. New opinion poll shows 85% of Greenlanders do not want to join the United States, 26th of January. And threat to deploy European troops to Greenland, and Danes announced 2 billion military boost as EU says no negotiating with Trump. 26th of January. And this is, again, a photo confirming that the EU plans to send troops to Greenland. The 2019 eclipses, the initiation of the Greenland controversy, that's when it started. So on the 2nd of July 2019, we had a North Node total solar eclipse at 10 Cancer, which conjuncted the natal sun of the United States, which represents the leader of the state, and North Node eclipses symbolize new beginnings, faded opportunities, and exponential growth, particularly with regards to leadership, identity, national destiny. And historically, these eclipses have been associated with turning points in national and global affairs. For example, a country may gain or lose its independence, marking a new era of national identity and sovereignty. Or a major movement arises that leads to landmark changes in leadership or social structure. An example could be the civil rights movement that took place in the USA. These events illustrate how such eclipses can bring faded moments that define the direction of a country's destiny. Therefore, these eclipses often herald moments of transformation where leadership decisions align with greater national or global purpose. And in the case of the United States, these themes specifically manifested as shifts in its international strategy and the redefinition of its role in global affairs, emphasizing strategic communication, diplomatic initiatives, and renewed focus on national identity. These were really important examples. And these eclipses are associated with movements toward expansion and the vision for the future, often revealing paths that align with a greater purpose. In the context of the USA, the activation of the natal sun suggested a renewed focus on national identity and leadership role in the global arena. And at the same time, the triggering of Trump's Mercury highlighted a pivotal period of strategic communication and international negotiations, marking a moment where decisions made could shape long-term national and personal legacies. Let me show you the charts. Here is the 2 July 2019 eclipse. And as we see, it was conjunct opposing Saturn, Pluto, and also it was in Cancer in the 9th house. And this is Trump's chart, right on his natal Mercury in the 11th house, which is a house related to high goals, long-term planning, the future, shocking proposals, maybe related to territory because it's Cancer and it has to do with the land. So the eclipse conjuncted his Mercury at 8 Cancer, which emphasized communication, strategy, and international dealings. He made this unexpected proposal to buy Greenland. Actually, he didn't make it exactly on the 2nd of July, but because his Mercury was triggered, this came later, as we will see, because the activations are really amazing. Then we have the USA chart, and we can see that it happens in the 7th house, on the cusp of the 8th house as well, right on the sun. And it's a new moon, so it's a total solar eclipse, which means it's a new moon. Therefore, means new beginnings, new, and the 8th house is related to purchases, investments as well. So it brought this. The sun is at the USA sun is at 13th house Cancer and symbolizes both leadership and the country's identity. And this eclipse marked the beginning of faded events related to leadership as well as to territorial issues. The next eclipse, which was on 17th of July, and it was a south node eclipse. There is a difference in the meaning if it's a south or a north node eclipse. A south node eclipse means that something needs to close, while a north node eclipse, it's related to the life path or to the future, to the direction that we need to take. And this eclipse, which was a south node lunar eclipse at 24 Capricorn, conjuncted Trump's natal Venus-Saturn conjunction and also triggered the natal Mercury-Pluto opposition in the chart of the United States, which is in the 2nd, 8th house. South node eclipses represent endings, karma, the release of old cycles. They often herald transformative shifts where something must be let go to make way for new beginnings. And in the context of national and global events, these eclipses can signal the completion of long-held ambitions or the collapse of outdated structures. And historically, south node eclipses have coincided with major shifts, such as the 2008 global financial crisis, which marked the collapse of long-standing economic systems. Or another example is the 1989 fall of the Berlin Wall, which also signaled the end of an era on a global, related to global politics and the collapse of divisive structures. So these eclipses tend to reflect pivotal moments in history where we need to release old systems to allow new systems to emerge. And this 17th July eclipse activated deep struggles related to power and resources, clearly reflected in the USA and Trump's astrological charts because of these major activations. Both eclipses in July 2019 were influencing both of them. Politically, these struggles manifested in heightened tensions over trade wars, particularly with China, and controversial foreign policy decisions. Economically, though, the period saw escalating concerns about national debt and resource allocation, with a renewed focus on strategic territorial assets like Greenland. These issues were symbolic of a greater battle over global power dynamics and national security priorities. So this is the 17th of July eclipse. It was conjunct Pluto, South Node, Saturn was nearby as well, and it was opposing Venus, Sun, and nearby was Mercury and Mars. And in Trump's chart, it triggered the Venus-Saturn conjunction in the ninth house again. And Venus-Saturn can talk about financial negotiations. Venus is about money, finances. Saturn is business. Mercury was triggered before. Mercury is his ruler of the sun in the 10th house too. So it led to this proposal, let's say, because the eclipse opposed his Venus Saturn in Cancer, and Venus rules his career, it rules the MC, and the MC is about his legacy. Saturn and Venus, actually, it's a financial deals, negotiations, business deals with Saturn. So it highlighted legacy related ambitions. Venus also rules the third house, communication, thinking, decisions, negotiations, proposals, and lunar eclipses in general symbolize emotional culmination, heightened awareness, and the need to reflect on past actions or emotional connections. And they can bring matters to a climax, a culmination, a head on, requiring decisions or closure. They are important. In this case, the eclipse's interaction with Trump's Venus and Saturn emphasizes the resolution of long-standing legacy issues and the impact of financial and relational choices that he has to make. But what about the United States? How does it impact the chart of the United States? For the United States, here is the eclipse, falls in the second eighth house again. And let's look at what it triggers and what it impacts. It triggers the Mercury-Pluto opposition, which is in the second and eighth houses. So it brings financial and international power struggles to the forefront. And it's really important, but we can see some positive lines as well in the chart of the United States. For example, there is a trine to Neptune in the ninth house, which talks about the vision. Also, we see that the angles of the eclipse fall directly, connect directly to the angles of the USA chart. For example, the ascendant is exactly conjuncting the natal ascendant. So it shows that this was a really important eclipse for the United States and impacting second and eighth house, which has to do with the investments, with the finances, with the power and control games as well that go on in international politics altogether. On 13th of August 2019, it was the first activation of this eclipse, Before, nothing triggered it earlier. But on 13th of August, almost a month later, 3 weeks later, the transit moon was the first planet to activate it because it conjuncted the degree of the eclipse. And that was days before Trump publicly confirmed Greenland proposal. Remember, the first news, the first mention of this was 16th of August, and on 18th of August, he confirmed it, and by the 19th or 21st, he canceled the visit, the scheduled official visit to Greenland as well. So this was not a coincidence at all, but it was rather something that was related to the eclipses and the moon. We see the moon here in Capricorn. When it reached this point here on 13th of August, it triggered the two charts. And Mercury-Pluto can also be talking about financial proposals because it's in the second 8th house, because Trump will not buy Greenland with his own money, it's with the USA money. And also it means manipulation, power games, control games, Mercury opposition Pluto as well, which was a really kind of threatening move towards Greenland, I would say. Denmark, it wasn't like a friendly move. On the contrary, it was like an acquisition move. Let's move on to see how 24, 25 will trigger or have triggered already this eclipse or these points. And and brought the topic back to the surface. The first eclipse, or the first trigger, actually, not eclipse, it was the 17th October. There might have been some before, but I didn't look at them because I wanted to look at the closest ones that were impacting the elections as well. So on 17th of October, there was a full moon at 24 Aries. And this squared Trump's Venus-Saturn conjunction and the 2019 eclipse point, signaling a reawakening of the Greenland issue. Or maybe that was the time that he decided that he will bring the issue to the surface if he's elected, right? Then on 25th of March, 2024, oh, that was first actually. The 17th of October was later, but in March, the South Node lunar eclipse, which happened at 5 Libra, triggered the 2nd of July 2019 eclipse at 10 Cancer. It was within 5 degrees, so it was a trigger, and highlighted the USA Sun and Trump's Mercury again. So it triggered basically the same aspect that was initially involved. On the 2nd of October 24, a South Node solar eclipse at 10 Libra, exactly squaring the USA's Sun, but also triggering again the 2nd of July eclipse, exactly this time, and re-emphasizing national identity and international strategy. Then on the 3rd of November, we had the first Mars-Pluto opposition. What is this? Oh, okay, we will look at it in a while then. How those triggered. Let me finish my... I will mention first the triggers and then we will look at the charts as well. So on the 3rd of November, we had the first Mars-Pluto opposition, which is the first in a series of significant astrological pattern that unfolds in 3 phases. Where this year we are still have one more left. The Mars-Pluto opposition started in 24, and it's gonna happen 3 times. The first one was on the 3rd of November, which was 2 days before the presidential elections. The second one, so the impact or the energies were still valid. The second one was on the 3rd of January, and the final one will be on 27th of April. And these oppositions are symbolic of intense power struggles, control, blackmail, political games, extortion, threats. So this powerful aspect was still active on election day and Trump's victory. Therefore, it marked the beginning of strategic moves related to the administration. It's going to impact the whole 4 years just because it was active when the elections took place, but not only. Then at the end of the year, on the 31st of December, we had a new moon at 9 Capricorn. Remember the 10 degrees of the cardinal signs because it's very near to the USA's sun and to Trump's Mercury. So apart from connections to this topic and past eclipses, this new moon at 9 Capricorn was very important because it was the cycle during which the lunar cycle during which the new US administration was sworn in. So it has implications for the entire duration of the administration as well. And the new moon triggered the 2nd of July 2019 eclipse and opposed the USA's sun as well as Trump's Mercury, symbolizing a new phase of leadership and international strategy. And this phase is marked by potential shifts in diplomatic relationships, the initiation of strategic alliances, and the re-evaluation of existing policies. And it suggests a time of renewed focus on national priorities where leadership decisions may significantly influence the global positioning of the USA. Examples could include new trade agreements, such as enhanced technology sharing with European allies or strategic alliances with emerging markets in Asia. Potential military strategies might involve strengthening Arctic defenses to address resource competition in the region. And while key legislation or key legislative initiatives could center on economic incentives for green energy development to align with international climate goals, these are things that we will see unfolding, especially during this year as well. Then on the 3rd of January, a few days after the new moon, we had the second Mars retrograde Pluto opposition, with Mars being retrograde. And this is the second in the series of 3, as we said. But this time with Mars retrograde means that it brings back things that happened from before. And one of the main connections is the 3rd of November, which was the day the first opposition happened. So the energy of this alignment tends to focus on past conflicts, redirecting actions, or creating unexpected moves behind the scenes, or in general, power control games and maybe secret actions. And one such unexpected event was the visit by Donald Trump Jr.'s sudden visit unexpectedly to Greenland, which raised questions about strategic moves and territorial interests, because the visit appeared to be organized at the last moment, at very short notice. It also involved a rally where reports later suggested that homeless individuals were paid or promised food to attend the rally, so that they would show that a lot of people attended. People were seen, people living in the capital of Greenland were distributed MAGA caps, Make America Great Again caps, and they were photographed wearing them. So this highlighted very much the Mars-Pluto themes of manipulation and coercion as well. I think it's very representative and the trip may have been strategically planned to test the waters for future moves or to signal a stronger focus on Greenland's strategic value. However, the retrograde of Mars suggests a revisiting of past strategic goals, and Mars-Pluto is one of the most difficult, if not the most difficult aspect in astrology, especially the opposition is really, because they are both rulers of the Scorpio and they're in opposition. They are both very aggressive, violent, controlling, manipulating. So Mars-Pluto is an aspect of control, manipulation, power games, show of power. The astrological backdrop of the visit suggests an attack or strategic move, manipulation, bribery, extortion, a secret agenda. And the fallout from this event may reveal itself around the third and final opposition, which will take place in April. And notably, the issue of acquiring Greenland was first raised by Donald Trump Jr. Donald Trump Sr. In August 2019, a period that can be tied to the buildup of these energies. So it connects directly to the first mention of this proposal in 2019. On 13th of January 25, we had a full moon at 24 Cancer conjuncting Mars. Let me see if I had anything else to show here. Yeah, okay. We'll go back and look at those, the astrocartography. These are the things I mentioned already now. So on 13th of January, we had a full moon at 24 Cancer, as I said, conjuncting Mars. And this activated directly the 17th July 2019 eclipse degree and Trump's Venus-Saturn conjunction, as well as the USA's Mercury-Pluto position, highlighting financial negotiations and diplomatic pressures. The second house in the USA chart deals with national resources, financial stability, and the country's values, while the eighth house encompasses shared resources, debt, taxation, power dynamics with other nations. And historically, this axis has been a pivotal indicator of the USA ability to navigate economic partnerships, trade agreements, international relationships. It showed the powerful economy of the United States. And the activation of this axis during the eclipse revealed intense focus on economic relationships, strategic alliances, and the pressures that arise from the USA's global financial entanglements. And the Mercury-Pluto position in the USA natal chart specifically emphasizes powerful dynamics between shared resources and national wealth. So this planetary configuration reflects a dynamic where intense power struggles shape the country's approach to economic and strategic relationships. And this underscores the need to maintain a balance between national values and managing shared resources on a global scale. And on the exact day of the full moon conjunct Mars, a horrendous phone call took place between Donald Trump and the Danish Prime Minister on this issue, reflecting the aggressive and volatile energy of the full moon conjuncting Mars. I mean, it played out so to the spot. On the 29th of January, we have a new moon at 9 Aquarius, conjunct Mercury-Pluto on USA, and it happens on Uranus. It happened because we're past 29th of January. It happened right on natal Uranus, which will be activated this year when Uranus goes into Gemini, and in the next 2 years, the United States will have a Uranus return. And the full moon on 12 February, which is a very dramatic and shocking and full moon with unexpected things happening or coming up. It's going to be at 24 Leo and squares Uranus exactly. And also triggers the 15 November full moon we had at 24 Taurus, right on Trump's MC. So this was really, these are really important activations that are going to happen in a few days already. The new moon, we're already in this cycle, and it's the first lunar cycle after the inauguration of the new US government. So I find it really important, and especially because the full moon, which is the middle of the cycle, triggers very much Trump as well as the chart of the United States. So let's go back to look at the astrocartography to see, not back, actually it's not back because it's some events that took place now recently. Oh, the new moon that just started opposes Trump's natal Pluto, and also transit Uranus conjuncts Donald Trump MC, transit Saturn squares natal Uranus. So he's really very much affected. 12 February, the full moon at 24 Leo, square Uranus in Taurus, and creates a T-square to Trump's MC. The transit Saturn squares the natal Uranus. Transit Mars squares natal Jupiter, which is also the ruler of the United States chart. Transit Venus opposes natal Neptune, and transit Mercury opposes natal Mars. By the way, the full moon on the 12th of February which squares Uranus, also creates a T-square to Israel's sun at 23 Taurus, and the transit Pluto conjuncts the MC. And the reason I'm mentioning this, which is not related to this video, but because the Israeli Prime Minister is in the United States right now and has extended his visit because he's going to have, he's the first foreign leader that Donald Trump is going to meet at the White House after his election. So I think this was really important. That's why I mentioned it. I wanted to look at the astrocartography for the some triggers recently, which we had. And in the winter solstice chart, we had Mars Pluto position going on or being very near, or the lines were very important because many of them were impacting Greenland, Denmark, and the United States. The astrocartography for the winter solstice chart for 21 December 2024, which talks to us for 3 months until the 20th of March, but also the Mars-Pluto position chart for 3rd of January 25, reveals that the North Node conjunct Neptune lines run through Greenland. Let me show you. See? With the North Node on the IC and the South Node on the MC, this position is highly symbolic of fated events involving territory and the potential loss or weakening of government, because the MC represents the government. And the involvement of Neptune also adds confusion, deception, possible loss of territory, someone trying to deceive us or whatever. The North Node and Neptune on the IC emphasize issues related to Greenland's land resources and its role as a strategic territory. And the fated element of the North Node suggests that Greenland is a center of global attention and destiny during this period. Deception or idealization might come from Neptune because it adds a layer of complexity, including possible misinformation, fake information, deception, secrecy, or the illusion of control over the territory. It also points to Greenland's symbolic value, possibly linked to climate change, natural resources, or global environmental ideas. The South Node on the MC now, because the MC it's the government, it's the top of the chart. The South Node suggests a need for global powers to let go of outdated approaches or claims related to Greenland, paving the way for new strategic initiatives that align with the future. And the South Node on the MC is both in the winter solstice chart and in the Mars Pluto position chart. And this basically talks about government instability. The South Node on the MC is a clear indication of a government or authority losing its grip that could point to political instability or loss of power or prestige. You know, it's not necessarily just power. Or the involvement of Neptune with the South Node, opposing the South Node, reinforces the theme of losses, dissolution, confusion surrounding the country's status. And in Greenland context, this could very well relate to territorial claims and a diminished hold by Denmark over Greenland. I don't know. I don't like the fact that Neptune with the North Node is on the IC, because it shows that maybe some new developments or changes are coming that are related to the territory of Greenland, but it's not. It's something that's fated or meant to happen. Nevertheless, this also shows a decline of traditional power structures because of the South Node, which symbolizes a need to release outdated structures. And in this case, it may indicate the end of Denmark's historical authority over Greenland. Then we have the Mars-Pluto opposition. Yeah, okay, but in this chart as well, there we had the North Node with Neptune and South Node on the sea. And Mars going through the United States. So Mars-Pluto tensions through these locations, because the lines go through Denmark and the USA for the 3 January chart, suggest a high-stakes game involving control, power over Greenland. And the Mars-Pluto line through Denmark emphasizes tensions and power struggles, which are directly related to this topic and to Greenland itself. And it could manifest as assertive actions or strategic moves by Denmark to reaffirm its stake in Greenland's future. Now, with regards to the United States, the line through the USA indicates a strong and aggressive American involvement. Let me see. I don't know why it has not changed. Sorry about that, but I wanted to make sure that the presentation is visible. So as I was saying, the Mars-Pluto goes through the United States, so brings this aggressiveness, and it may include also manipulation, political, military, or economic moves aimed at positioning the USA as a key player in Greenland's affair. Mars and Pluto together signify intense struggles for control. They can show blackmail or the use of forceful tactics, making threats. Generally, it's backstabbing or blows under the belt. All of this make this period strategically important, and also raise the possibilities of conflict as well. In the chart of the year, the nodes and the nodes ingressing Pisces Virgo axis, the chart of the year is for the 1st of January at midnight, and the nodes ingress the Pisces Virgo on 11th of January. The Uranus line in this chart again goes through Greenland, which is also very interesting because all of this happened very close to those dates, the sudden visit of Donald Trump Jr. You see, here is the line of Uranus going through, and also meets the line of Saturn as well. And for the United States, Mars, Pluto go through very near Washington and hit on Chiron as well. And here is Denmark, Mars, Pluto again goes exactly through, as you can see more clearly now. So the Uranus line features prominently in this chart of the 1st of January, the chart of the new year, as well as in the chart for the ingress of the node. And Uranus on the MC over Greenland. Now, before we had the south node on the MC, now we have Uranus, which speaks about sudden, unexpected developments involving the country's government. So it fits perfectly, I think, with the unexpected nature of Trump Jr.'s visit and the renewed talk about Greenland's strategic significance. But is this like fated historically? Is this a fated shift? Who knows? It might be, because the connection between these planetary energies and the events that unfold in Greenland speak of it like a deeper, more faded narrative. And the south node on the MC in the solstice and in the 3rd of January chart of the Mars Pluto position could foreshadow a major loss or change for the country's government, possibly involving loss of territory as well. Neptune is on the IC. As the Uranus line takes over, a shocking development may emerge, aligning with the themes of unexpected events and disruption. Uranus signifies shocks, unexpected developments, chaos, innovation as well, technology, but also can be a sudden attack too. And it lines through Greenland during these critical chart points to unforeseen events or announcements concerning this territory. It could also talk about internet, because Uranus is the internet, or some kind of quakes, earthquakes, because it's or drillings, things like that. So the Uranus line on the MC can also talk about the government receiving sudden shocks. Uranus on the MC emphasizes unexpected disruptive events that impact the government or the status of the country. And again, the visit of Trump Jr. was very representative. Or other possibilities might be some type of revolutionary changes, like who knows? Because right now Denmark is Greenland is an autonomous country, but it belongs to Denmark. there might be moves for independence, for redefining this relationship with Denmark or with other global powers. Again, Uranus on the MC suggests that Greenland may be at the forefront of global decisions or discussions related to climate technology, resource management, or even new political frameworks. And it could also bring sudden shifts to Greenland's potential role as a pioneer in global environmental and strategic affairs. Or it could show like it could signify movements toward greater autonomy or new partnerships, potentially disrupting the status quo. In March and April, we have some more activations. This is the chart of the North Node, the astrocartography for the North Node in Pisces. And again, we see the same lines crossing. Mars, Pluto over Denmark, Uranus over Greenland, and Mars, Pluto, Chiron, very near Washington here. So they're the same. So March, April 2025 activations, because these are really, there are some very strong activations going on in the next 2-3 months. The culmination of this energy at the third Mars-Pluto position, which will take place on 27th of April 2025, is likely to reveal the fallout from the January events. And this period could bring in an escalation in the struggle over Greenland, further amplifying the power struggles and tensions symbolized by these oppositions. We have further activations in 2025 and until 2028. But let me see here what, yeah. We have some eclipses affecting as well this year, but also transit Uranus will form a grand trine to Pluto and the Uranus. To Pluto and the USA's MC at 1 Libra. And this will happen 3 times this year. July 7th, as soon as Uranus crosses into Gemini, 8th of November, when Uranus retrogrades back into Taurus, 26th of April next year, when Uranus permanently moves into Gemini. These grand trines indicate significant shifts in the USA's leadership and global standing, marking periods of potential transformation in the country's international role and strategic alliances. And these trines suggest a renewed focus on diplomatic initiative and policy reorientations that could shape the USA's position as a global leader. And then we have 25th of March, there is a lunar eclipse at 8 Aries, which squares the USA's Sun, trumps Mercury, and the 2 July eclipse point. So intensifies pressure on leadership and strategic decisions as well. And this is the astrocartography for the eclipse that will take place in 29th of March. 29th of March, that's right. And look at how many lines cross through Greenland, how many, and through the United States as well. And here also near Denmark we have. So it's really, the areas are really activated here. Then we have the third and final Mars-Pluto position, and which will likely bring a fallout with regards to this issue or some extra new developments. And we see, again, a lot of lines going through, and Moon, Sun, and all of these lines go through, as well as in affecting the United States as well, because the north node, no, the south node is on the MC going through Washington. Mars Pluto goes through Los Angeles area. But look at here as well, how many lines go through the Scandinavian countries near Denmark. So I think it's really possible that we will have something major happening around April in these areas. The next important thing is transit Jupiter in Cancer, which will happen on the 9th of June. Jupiter will begin its tour in Cancer and will conjunct all of USA's natal planets that are in Cancer, starting with Venus. Because Jupiter will be in Cancer for 1 year, it will be a long time there. And also the USA will experience a Jupiter return this year, making it the year a cycle of growth, expansion, a focus on national values. And the transit, it's very good because Jupiter in Cancer is in exaltation. So it usually brings positive stuff compared especially to Gemini, which is in fall and detriment. But because the United States has natal Jupiter in Cancer, it's positive, and this will amplify things related to domestic security, national pride, resource management, all topics under Jupiter's domain. And this period could manifest like bringing extra focus, more heightened focus on policy changes, especially policies that aim to strengthen the stability of the country and the self-reliance. And examples can include initiatives related to infrastructure development, for example, modernizing transportation networks, investing in climate resilient systems, or resource conservation could be like a push for renewable energy policies, protection of natural resources. And while efforts to promote national unity may involve different strategies like educational reforms, also social inclusion, cultural pride. In general, Jupiter in Cancer promotes national pride and cultural pride. So this transit suggests like an emphasis on social and cultural pride with potential, though, influence on domestic legislation, public sentiments such as tax reforms to benefit the middle-income families, or enhanced support in general. Then on 27th of July, 25, let me see. Oh, okay. I didn't include it here. 27th of July. 27th of July. Okay, let's look at the previous as well. Oh yeah, we have the return of the Uranus for the USA, which will ingress Gemini and form a grand trine. I already spoke about this, and I gave you the date as well. Okay, 7th of July, 8th of November, 25th of April. Then on 18th July, we have a North Node lunar 27, 18th of July, 27, a North Node lunar eclipse at 25 Capricorn, which opposes Trump's Venus, Saturn, and the USA Sun. And reignites previous themes of legacy and territorial strategies. On 27 July, transit Jupiter on 25. This is 25. I don't know why I put them. Yeah, because I got confused because it's 18 July, but actually this happens 2 years later. this is what is going to happen this year, 27 July, when transit Jupiter triggers the 2024 eclipse point and occurs during a major planetary bisextile, because Uranus, Pluto, and Saturn, Neptune will be in a bisextile, this rare bisextile, and emphasizes diplomatic and strategic developments as well. And then on 31st of December 28, and all of these are important because they're going to happen during this administration. That's why I'm mentioning them, because I believe the topic will develop over the next 4 years. So on the 31st of December, we have a total lunar eclipse at 10 Cancer, which activates the sun of the USA and trumps Mercury. And possible outcomes: the Greenland issue is unlikely to disappear and may resurface as a strategic or potential move. And the astrological patterns around Greenland for 2025 are not coincidental. So they point to a significant shift involving Greenland's status and its strategic importance. And this year marks like a turning point, and March, April, May bring like a climactic development. We might see renewed territorial negotiations, resource-driven strategies, political posturing to influence global perceptions, and in the extreme, there might be chaos, turmoil, a loss of government control, or a move toward a faded acquisition. And given the previous astrological activations, future developments may align with Trump's legacy driven ambitions, or in general, his broader national strategic goals. And the focus could include resource exploration in Greenland or enhanced diplomatic engagement with Denmark to resolve these tensions or these disagreements. Other possibilities might involve international consortiums to develop Arctic trade routes or military initiatives to protect vital resources. And these scenarios would likely be influenced by upcoming planetary configurations that promote transformation and redirection. And all of these planetary configurations that I mentioned really point to that. And the interplay of Uranus, Pluto, and Jupiter in the coming years indicate a period of strategic realignment for the USA, because grand trines involving Uranus and Pluto will likely amplify the United States' influence on global policies, because it affects the MC. As I said, it will create a grand trine with the MC. So it kind of gets like very amazing power, strong power, and suddenly, and also technological power as well. So it emphasizes transformative leadership. And Jupiter's return to Cancer and its conjunctions with USA natal planets will also bring opportunities for national growth and general a refocus on domestic strength. So throughout this period, the astrological activations point to a nation that is at a crossroad, where decisions made could shape the future of its leadership, its resources, its global standing. But no matter what these events are, they are tied to deep cosmic cycles that demand attention. Let me take like a quick look to see if we have left something else out that I wanted to speak about. Okay, here I included the chart of Greenland, which is not, I'm not actually 100% sure, but from what I found out, Greenland autonomy went into effect on 21st of June, 2009, which is very and the chart actually fits pretty well. And in connection to how it fits with Mr. Trump's chart, there is this strong activation of his Mars opposes Jupiter, Neptune, and Chiron of Greenland. So it's and on the cusp of his seventh house, which is like an opponent for him. And Denmark's and Greenland's chart in comparison to the USA, it's okay too, but the MC of Greenland it's right on the ascendant of the United States. Okay, as you can see, this is the MC for Greenland, and this is the ascendant. It's in the 12th house and in the first house. And the reason is because it's very north and it's the Placidus system. Here I put the whole signs because it was really difficult to see. But we can see how the location or the latitude affects the angles. And I just wanted to show this that the especially Greenland, that the MC goes on the ascendant of the United States. I found it very important. And then Denmark's chart compared to Trump's, because again there is really a lot of affection. I mean impact. The descendant of Denmark goes on the cusp of the second house for Trump, triggering money topics as well. And the MC of Denmark is on his Uranus. And this was triggered with the recent lunations at this point and brought all these things to the forefront. And Denmark's with the USA as well, which is also appears to be important connections as well. The MC, right on the Denmark's MC, right on the USA's Mars, and also this point is very much activated by Trump. His north node is right on 21 degrees. So his north node goes on Greenland's MC as well. These are really important connections. Let's see if I wanted to go back to see if I had something else to show with regards to the natal chart and comparisons. Okay, this is a 2 July eclipse, and Neptune squares, transit Neptune squares Uranus, North Node, Sun. This is the 17th July. No, this is the 2, that was for, the first one was for Trump, the second one for the USA. How they compare. I'm just gonna run through them and you can look at the presentation as well later. This is for the eclipse that occurred on 16th of July. It was very affecting very hard Trump's chart, making him quite volatile, quite unpredictable, and how it affected the USA chart, second, 8th house. And these are how the eclipses at that time triggered. Actually, it's the March 25th eclipse that happened last year, and there is a repetition this year. So we can see that it affected Greenland very much again. Look how many lines go there. And very near Denmark as well. It was the Pluto line going through and connecting to Mercury as well. Amazing, I think. This is the 2 October eclipse that was right before the last eclipse before the elections, which again triggered his North Node as well, and the USA chart too. It affected. Also Mars on the cusp of the 8th house exactly for this chart, and it's on the cusp of the 7th house, which is the contractual agreement, allies, friends, enemies. So it's like it's it triggered all of these power games. Okay, well, more or less we saw all the charts and I explained them. You got the point that everything is very much interconnected. And with this, we have reached the end of our astrological analysis of this very interesting topic. And thank you all for listening until the end. If you like the video and you would like to share it, give pass the message to others as well, it would be greatly appreciated. Give us a like, subscribe. And if you would like to book a personal reading with me, please visit astrolada.com. I'm Astro Bianca, and you will find the link under the video as well. Until next time, be well. Bye.